Hi hello guys, welcome to Checkmate series. Today we are going to see the round number 3 of candidates between Anish Kiri and Fabiana Caruana. It is the most important game for both of them to attain the main spot. So the game starts with 1 d4 followed by d5, c4 and e6. It is known as the Queen's Camp decline variation, and here knight to f3 was played, knight d7 was played. Mostly in this position, black play the move knight to f6 or bishop to b4 check. But here black played the move knight to d7. Black was Fabiano Caruana and white was Anish Kiri. So here Anish Kiri played the move g3. Right, he is going for an Catalan setup to putting the bishop on g2 and going for short castle. So here black played the move d takes c4, bishop g2, rook b8. So it is an prophylactic move or an crazy move because in the future this knight can be bring to d2 and this diagonal is active for this bishop. So when you take this c8 bishop outside, then this becomes a weak, so that now he plays the move rook b8. The idea behind the rook b8 is some other different, right? So you can play b5 to b4, and in future you can play a5 a4, right? You can attack on the queen side. So here white play the move a4 stopping b5, right? So if you play b5, I just take and you just take, right? So here black play the move b6, white play the move knight d2. I told that there is an idea, right, to control this diagonal. a5 was played and knight takes c4 was played. So you centralize this knight on the c4 square, right? It controls e5, right? So in the future you can play knight to c3 and knight to e4, just putting the two knights on the center, right? So here black play the move bishop a6, knight a3 was played to support this c4 knight. Black play the move bishop a4 check, bishop d2, bishop takes a3 and knight takes a3. You can take with this things, right? If you take with any of these pieces, then this knight is lost. So you need to take with knight, right? So here black play the move knight e7 and white play the move castles and b4. So it is an attacking move here because white tries to play for the queen side, right? So here he plays the move b4, and in future he will play queen b3, rook b1, rook fc1, and this bishop is always active to go to bishop to c6, and in future he can play even b5, right? So this is a great setup for white. So he played the move b4, which is why the engine also preferring this move. Here black played the move a takes b4, bishop takes b4 was played and c5 was played. Right, he attacks this bishop on b4 and attacks the d4 pawn. If you take this, black can even play knight takes e5, just bringing this knight to the key square, right? So you can exchange this queen ray, and if you take this, right, so if you take this, he will take back with this. You think that this is an weak pawn in that queen side because, and you can take this pawn as a passer, but it's too difficult for white to continue here, right? So instead of d takes c5, white play the move bishop c3, knight f5 was played, right, to put a pressure on this d4 square. So knight b5 was played to support this d4 square. It's a good move, right? These all the pieces are just supporting the d4 piece, right? So black play the move bishop takes b5, a takes b5 and c takes d4, bishop takes d4, knight takes d4 and queen takes d4. This is a mass exchange of minor pieces, right? It's a deadly equal position for black and white. It's a complete 0-0 for according to the engine. So it's a completely equal position. So here black can play the move knight f6, knight to c5, and he can even play rook c8 or queen c7 just to play queen c5 and trade the queens. So here black play the move knight c5, white play the move rook a d1, just controlling this square, right? So controlling this file to support the queen on d4. Black play the move queen d4, rook d4, going for an rook and knight in games. So rook to d8 and white play the move rook f d1, rook d4, rook d4. We come to an rook knight and rook bishop endgame, right? So king f8, rook d6, king e7 and rook c6. So he just put his rook on the c6 square, right? So he just keeps this two pieces as more active than this bishop. So in future he can bring his king little bit up, right? So then he can just take this knight in the future if he wants. So this sacrifice can happen. So here black play the move rook d8, stopping king f1, right? So if you play king f1, that's rook d1 checkmate, so you cannot play king f1. So here white play the move f4 and black play the move rook d6, so he's offering a rook trade. So here white play the move rook c7 check, rook d7, rook c6, rook d6, rook c7, rook d7, rook c6 and rook d6, and they agree to a draw. So this endgame which leads to a draw, and the game between Anish and Caruana was ended in a draw. If you like this video, subscribe to Checkmate City for more videos.